Hello. Today I'm presenting the evolution of mental health diagnosis, a 200-year timeline showing how diagnostic systems developed from early classification attempts to the DSM-5 TR. So, mental health diagnosis didn't appear suddenly. It developed over 2 centuries of scientific discoveries, cultural shifts, political movements, and changing beliefs about mental illness. This timeline highlights how each event influenced the next and how the zeitgeist shaped the diagnostic systems we use today. In the early 1800s, the moral treatment movement led by Pinel and Tuke reframed mental illness as something treatable rather than a moral or spiritual failure. This shift emphasized observation, documentation, and human care, creating the foundation for future classification systems. In 1840, the US Census introduced a single category called idiocy and insanity. Although extremely limited, it represented the first national attempt to classify mental illness and reflected growing governmental interest in tracking mental health conditions. By 1880, the census expanded into 7 mental health categories. This change reflected the rise of medical statistics and the belief that mental disorders could be systematically classified. It pushed psychiatry toward more standardized diagnostic language. Emil Kraepelin revolutionized diagnosis by grouping disorders based on symptoms, onset, and course. His work marked a major shift toward scientific classification and directly influenced the structure of the DSM today. Kreplin's approach became the backbone of modern diagnostic systems. In 1917, the Statistical Manual for the Use of Institutions standardized diagnoses across psychiatric hospitals. This manual reflected the progressive era's focus on organization, record keeping, and institutional reform. And it also served as the first true diagnostic guide in the United States. After World War II, the American Psychiatric Association, or APA, published the first DSM. DSM 1 framed mental disorders as reactions to stress, heavily influenced by psychoanalytic theory and wartime trauma. It marked the beginning of a unified national diagnostic system. DSM-2 in 1968 expanded diagnostic categories but remained rooted in psychoanalytic language. During this period, social upheaval and the anti-psychiatry movement challenged the validity of psychiatric labels. These criticisms set the stage for the major scientific overhaul that would come with the DSM-3. Now, DSM-3 transformed diagnosis by shifting to descriptive, symptom-based criteria. This change increased reliability and aligned psychiatry with scientific medicine. Insurance companies also began requiring DSM diagnosis, which further standardized the system and reinforced its influence. From 1994 to 2000, the DSM-4 and the DSM-4 TR incorporated multicultural considerations and used large field trials to refine diagnostic criteria. These additions reflected growing awareness of cultural differences in mental health experiences and the need for more evidence-based categories. The DSM-5 reorganized disorders into new clusters and introduced dimensional approaches. This edition was shaped by advances in neuroscience, genetics, and developmental psychology, moving diagnosis closer to biological and lifespan based models. DSM 5TR updated diagnostic criteria, added new disorders, and revised language to be more culturally responsive. It reflects the influence of social justice movements, trauma informed care, and the mental health impact of the COVID-19 era. Diagnostic systems shape nearly every part of society. They determine insurance coverage, school accommodations, legal decisions, and access to treatment. Diagnosis also influences public understanding of mental illness and guides research funding and clinical practice. Now, this timeline shows that mental health diagnosis evolved through the interaction of psychological discoveries and powerful historical forces. Each DSM revision reflects the values, science, and social issues of its era. Understanding diagnosis today requires understanding the history that shaped it. Thank you.